What is up, everybody? This is episode 34. Man, I got that right quick this time. Episode 34. There's a lot going on in this episode. There's a lot of new material and new things going on. We have a new DM, and it's Cody. If you're familiar with TheHomeBrew, Cody is an awesome. Back up some. Carlos had to step away. Life be lifing. That's all we can say is life be lifing. No telling if he's ever gonna come back. But Cody is a great guy. I love Cody. I talked to him in a Discord a couple of times. He is amazing. He's one of those people that I have a lot in common with, and I'm like, man, I wish we were better friends. Or like, I ain't pushing my friendship on people. I wish we were friends so I could play video games with him and stuff like that. It's just one of those people you're like, man, he's a cool guy. But off track here. I remember when they announced that Carlos would be stepping away, and then they were trying to keep who the DM was a secret. Who the DM was a secret. And I do pretty good on my guesses when the Power Word Fail does, like, you guys will never guess what's gonna happen next, or you guys will never guess what this is and that is. And so Carlos, great guy. Love it. His vibe is very, very good. He not gonna mess with that because I am recording. His vibe is like amazing. You can feel like the love and the caring and just the nurturing coming off of him. So I felt like, man, they got to get somebody who can match that. So my first guess to myself was Austin, but then I was like, Austin's in the show. They would have to kill off Ferric. Cause Austin's a sweetheart. I could see Austin taking over for Cody, but then I was like, he's in the show, so that's not going to work. And then immediately next, I was like, the only person left would be Cody. Because Cody is just like that similar vibe of like, this is a nice guy. He really cares about people. Like, you get that feeling from Cody. And you're just like, okay. And I was just immediately like, it's Cody. And then it was Cody. So Cody is the new DM of Power Word Fail. All right, well, we're just gonna start off this review. This is Cody's. This is not Cody's first time DMing. But you know, this is his first time DMing for Power Word Fail. He was handed a project. So first episodes might be a little shaky, but he did a great job in my opinion. But let's get into this review. Cody does a good job doing the review. Actually, you can tell that he's did his research. He's listened to the episodes. He was handed the notes. He does a really good, thorough job of doing a review. So if you're like me and you need a good review to like kind of refresh you from the last episode, you are in luck. Cody does good reviews. That's important. Not Power Word Fail, but some shows when they don't start with a review, I'm just like, what happened last week? Or what happened 2 weeks ago? Because some podcasts only do bi-weekly, and that kills me. But I just be like, what happened? But anyway, they have a really good choice of music while he's doing the review, so that's also good. We pick up at the funeral. The group tries to figure out what they're going to do next. Ambrose welcomes them to his house. But Mirage, he's like, Mirage, you can stay outside. Everybody immediately was like, no, that's not gonna, like, what are you talking about, Ambrose? Adalia asks Pickles what's going on between Ambrose and Mirage. Pickles informs her of what happened. Pickles says he and everybody just needs a day to get over it. Just that is man, Andy. If I could pin that voice clip of he just needs a day to get over it. But anyway, she tells them that he just needs a day to get over it. It's like, everybody's hot right now. We just need time to cool off. Ambrose and Miraz will be best friends again tomorrow. They all head to the Ambrose house and the Boussant house, and everyone tries to cheer up Miraz as they're walking there. Dahlia does a good job. Ferric does a good job, but he's still a little down. Adalia heads over to Ambrose eventually, and he's pretty short with her. As she tries to get like a conversation out of him, and she kind of pesters him a little bit, but he's just like, "Nah, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about him." So they get to the Ambrose house and they head inside, and the house is a mess from people vandalizing it and stuff, but it's still like functional, livable. Adalia heads off to a shop. She goes to a leather worker and asks for some gloves that are like for her and some child gloves. This is one of my favorite scenes in Power Word Fail. Just point blank. One of my favorite scenes. Like, this is literally top 5 scenes. There was a misunderstanding with Cody and Katie and Adalia and this shopkeeper. And they did not break character. I love that. Like, Cody didn't stop and go like, I think you're like misunderstanding what he wants here or what he's talking about. He stayed in character, which made her stay in character. And then they just kept going until they figured out what each other was talking about. And I commented on this in the Discord, and Katie said she was running a little fever and she was like out of it, but still, that made for like a great scene. I love that scene because you can hear the confusion in the players' voices, in the DM's voice, and then it's just like, keep the show going, and then it's just like, oh man, I love that scene because it was just, I made a meme of that scene because what I can't tell you how it started or whatever. But Adalia was like, she's staying at the Boussant house, and then the shopkeeper was like, "Is somebody buying the Boussant house? Did you buy the Boussant house?" Like, and then she was like, "Are you buying the Boussant house?" And then it just kept going back and forth like that, and it just made for like a really great scene of role play. It's just like, man, the commitment here is amazing. Back to the house, the group is just kind of chilling about. Ambrose orders food and drinks for the group, and the messenger boys or the order boys that Mornstead delivery service mistook him to think he's throwing a party. They spread the word. The children come back with drinks, and Ferrix tips them a gold piece each. Other people start to show up. And I just want to rewind that for a second. I love, like, I don't know how long Ferric has been in, like, he's from the Fey realm. And I don't know how long he's been in the human world, because I think when he refers to past timelines, he just says, when Spunk found me. So I don't know if that Spunk found him as soon as he got into the human world, or was he in the human world for a couple of years? But the knowledge of Ferric, what he has, like, he has a lot of knowledge about death and afterlife and how all that stuff works. But you give that man currency, he'll know nothing. And I love that Austin has that trope and sticks with it. Because, like, he's just like, gold coin should be adequate for each of you. and I think in the D&D hand guide, like, a gold coin can pay, like, rent for a very long time. So, anyway, I just really like that commitment of just like, I don't know, which, I mean, late game, mid game, a gold coin isn't nothing to an adventurer, but if you play your NPCs right, they get a gold coin like, dude, you're rich. A lot of people show up at Ambrose house, people of stature, nobility, I think just regular folks show up too. Pickles leaves the party and she kind of goes off and sit by herself. Ferric works the crowd and he starts playing music. He finds a guy. He finds a guy to talk to, and he finds out that there's a group of people called the Golden Council that kind of like work in the shadows or take over when there's no like leader in charge, and they kind of like control the background of things. The leader of the Golden Council is a guy named Kelvin. He is a gnome, and he kind of runs the Golden Council. He heads over to a very drunk Adalia. Props Katie for playing a really good drunk. And he starts dancing with her because she wants to dance. She is really drunk. At this point, somebody shows up. It is Commander Busant's right-hand man. He walks in, and his name is Servon. Servon? I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. That wrong. God. Servon. All right. Servon Cartwright. I know his last name is Cartwright. When, and the audacity of this man to show up at Ambrose's house party wearing his father's armor. The audacity. I know Ambrose isn't on good terms with his father right now, but if I would have saw that, it would have been on site. Just on site. Like, get out my, like, come on site. You find out that he is the head of the Ivory Guard. He's showing up to take his father's belongings because apparently they belong to the Ivory Guard. He tries to butter Ambrose up a little bit, but but Ambrose doesn't go for it. He's just like, everything in this house belongs to the Ambrose family, the Busant family. And then Cartwright says, "We'll settle this in court then." Ambrose tells him to stay for a couple of drinks, though, regardless of the matter. Like, hey, it's a party. You can stay. Miraz is drunk, and he tries to grab everybody's attention with his pyrotechnics. And Ambrose ends up pulling him away into a room and fusses at him. He just like, look, we're done. We're done. There's no connection between us anymore. You're dead to me, but everybody else still loves you. So you better like shape up and focus on that. But me and you, donezo. Pickles is still alone, and that bothers me. Like, I know everybody wanted to have a good time and stop thinking about the sad stuff, but the fact that Pickles is still alone is just kind of like, nobody gonna go check on Pickles. Oh. But I get that everybody had their own emotional thing. I think Katie had a good reason why she wouldn't be aware of that, because she just killed her boogeyman Zeus, and she's coming down off that high and just kind of like it's finally over. She just wants to not focus on that. Miraz had that thing with Ambrose. Ambrose, I mean, this is the house, so you have to pay attention to everything. Ferric is performing, but I was really hoping that somebody was just like, Pickles walked off by herself. Let me go talk to her. Or at least see if she's okay. At least stick their head out like, Pickles, are you doing all right? All right. I love that meme of like, hey, are you all right? No. All right, I was just checking. But Ambrose finds a banker, and he asks about the finances of the Busan estate and stuff like that. And he was like, hey, can we get some papers on that? Can we figure some stuff out? And the guy's super drunk, so he's just like, yeah, I'll handle that in the morning. The party, it doesn't wind down, but the next day comes, and everybody has to do a con saving throw from drinking all night. And, some people have a hangover, some people, whatever. I think Adalia passed. Everybody else, I think, failed. Ferric leaves Adalia a bag of flour on her table. What's going on there? The boys who brought the drinks are cleaning up the house. Real smart boys. Ferric or Adalia, I think Adalia did it this time, tips them 2 gold coins each. And Cody played these boys really well. It was just being like, I told you, if we stuck around and we did stuff, they would tip us again really high. And Pickles kind of is just kind of hanging about. She's kicking people out. She's cleaning up a little bit. She's just hanging about. Adalia kisses Ferric on the cheek. Mm, mm, mm. Wonder what's going on there. uh, Ambrose falls right back into high society. He comes down in his nice robe with everybody kind of like, watching. He walks down. He's like, "Oh, good morning, everybody." They all kind of get up and everybody wakes each other up. Then one of the messenger boys says the Golden Council has summoned the group. They are already late, so they immediately head that way. As they get to the castle and head into the throne room, they see a short gnome man on the throne. Already disrespect. And they see a new blur. They see a new player character, Allie. This is Allie's character, and she describes her character. She's doing a ritual. They don't really tell you what it is, but she does a really good job of describing her character, and the episode ends. So we didn't get much of brain fart. Anyway, I will say Cody did a really good job of DMing this episode. You can tell that he was a little bit nervous, but he still did a real good job. There was more of, I want to say, the players leading what was going on versus the DM leading what was going on. And I think, I don't know if that was purposely or just kind of like, it's not like, I'm not saying that Cody wasn't DMing, but I feel like the players were like more like, this is what's happening. This is like where I'm going. And instead of like Cody being like, where are you going? And this is what it looks like. So in which it was like insequential things. So things that don't matter really that much are, so it's just kind of like the flavor text of the character. So I kind of noticed that, pegged that a little bit. And I think that's because, you kind of want to ease somebody into this position, because if you just force them in there and they kind of take over, and if you just kind of force them in there and they just kind of take over, it just feels like that jarring like, oh, this is different. Oh, this is real different. So I do like the fact that Cody's kind of easing, kind of sneaking his way in there. So that's a little different. But anyway, we get a little bit of downtime. The group has some fun. Well, most of the group has some. Like half of the, like two fractions. How many people are there now? Five. 2/5 of the group, 2/5 and a half of the group has some fun. We throw that house party. The funeral's over. Got the Adalia and Ferric things kind of solidifying. We got the Servon Cartwright showing up. We got the Golden Council summoning the heroes of Mornstead. And yeah, there's wasn't like that much moving forward with the story, but that is to be expected. They just beat the big bad guy, so it's you don't expect them to go immediately into the next big bad guy. So a little downtime, and the downtime roleplay was really good. Excuse me. I don't have much else to say about this episode. There really wasn't that much to it. It was a little bit of like I said, there was a little bit of information there to kind of grasp at with the Golden Council and Kelvin. Another thing about Cody, he does really great voices. If you haven't heard, he has a couple of voices on the Homebrew. He plays Carl Gauss. I don't know Carl's last name. I think it's Gauss. He plays Carl. And he plays player favorites, Grundle. Grundle is just like Pickles to me. I love Grundle. I thought I would hate him when he first showed up, and then I was like, Grundle is amazing. And I could not believe that Cody was doing the voice of Grundle. It's so different from Carl to Grundle. And I was like, this man has to be using like something to change his voice or, modulation or something. And no, like him and TJ are just like, oh man, it's real good. But so you expect a lot of good NPC voices from Cody. I want to call him Carl all the time, but Cody. So without further ado, I will give this this episode 7 hit dice out of 10. It was a fun episode. I know things are a little bit rocky with the new DM, so as to be expected. Downtime episode, we got a little bit of lore, but it just it's just kind of what you expect with a new DM and just defeating the bad guy. You can't really go into like another climax right off the bat, so it's just kind of what you expect coming off of the high of the funeral, killing Zeos, and just everything. So it's just downtime. Not that your body has still got that adrenaline, and you're like, what's next? And then it's just like, oh, okay, downtime. So still a good episode. 7 hit dice out of 10. I can't wait. So today is Monday, folks. So tomorrow, if you're looking for Faye, she'll be here. So she says. And if she's not, go yell at her. I will reiterate that. Go yell at her if she's not here tomorrow. She flakes out, you have my permission to slide in her to DMs and yell at her. All right. But as always, thanks for tuning in to Miles TV. Bye.